Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Enter the Ether, the new podcast all about the upcoming third-person MOBA ethereal Clash of Souls. I'm your host, the one and only Magoose. Joining me, as always, is my friend, co-host, and wildfire survivor, Jellyknees. What's up, Jelly? How you doing, man?
I'm doing great now that, my house isn't in danger, but
That's always a good feeling when you know you're not going to burn to death.
yeah, just, it's really relieving. I'm used to always feeling like that, but, this week I've decided, let's get rid of that. We're not going to feel that way anymore.
Hey, you get free weed, or legalized weed, I should say. You gotta deal with some wildfires. There's ups and downs everywhere you live. I don't have as many wildfires, but I'll get arrested if I go out and smoke a joint on my front porch.
I mean, it's the give and take,
Yeah, exactly. It's just the way it goes, man. It's just the way it goes. So this week we have a bit more of a sober topic to discuss than normal. This is like whenever you're watching your favorite sitcom and all of a sudden somebody's brother dies or some shit, or there's a car accident. But we're going to be talking about Extra Life and UG's involvement in Extra Life this year, which will be November 7th. Before last year, I didn't really know what Extra Life was. I had heard about it. I knew streamers that participated in it, but I didn't truly know what it was. So we're going to kind of explain that today. And the fun part about it is, if ever Ethereal was to actually release some new content for us to get excited and hyped about, it's going to be during Extra Life. Jelly, did you watch any of UG's streaming last time for Extra Life?
I watched a little bit of it here and there. I think mostly Tricolor stream that he did. But I also was on their team, so to speak, for Extra Life. So I was streaming myself that day to help raise money for their team.
So to explain a little bit about what Extra Life is, it's a foundation that helps. They send money to, what's it called? Children's Miracle Network. It's a network of hospitals that just help out children with various diseases. It doesn't matter what the disease is, and it's a way for gamers specifically to contribute to the cause. And usually they host a 24-hour stream once a year, and people participate. They have donation pages on their Twitch stream, and if you donate, it goes 100% of the donations goes to Extra Life, and then 100% of those donations go to the Children's Miracle Network. So it's a really great cause, a really cool thing. It really just shows the character of UG, that they are so willing and they really want to participate in Extra Life. They're an ethically sound company, I would say.
Absolutely. And from what I hear, from what they've just said in the Discord, that they're planning to do dev streams like they did last year of various aspects of the development for Ethereal, and who knows what else they're planning to do. Like you said, that if there's a time to see new content or new information, this is it.
That's the perks we get. And then, of course, if you have some extra cash, if you want to donate, then that's the place to do it. If not, just go out and support. The more views you can get them, the more likely other people are to see the whatever content they happen to be streaming. So I mean, they don't just do ethereal stuff. So I know last year they streamed some League of Legends and some other stuff like that. It's a variety stream. But yeah, if you have some extra money and you want to contribute, or if you even if you don't have the money, just go out there, take a look at it. It's for a good cause, so why not, man?
Absolutely.
So Extra Life, just to explain a little bit, it was founded in 2008. It was the Sarcastic Gamers. It was there was a specific little girl. What was her name? I've got it written down here. Victoria Inman. She had lymphoblastic leukemia, and they were trying to. She had gotten over it before, and then she went to remission. And one of the people that was working with her throughout her recovery was part of this Sarcastic Gamer group. And once the gaming community learned about her case and learned, the dire straits that she was in, they kind of came together and started sending her games. Like they expected, somebody, maybe a few people send a little bit of money and some games, but thousands of people started sending money and games to this little girl. So they turned it into the organization, the Extra Life organization, and then it keeps growing every year. They've raised, let me see, $70 million since their inception in 2008. $70 million. That's all gone to the Children's Miracle Network, and the Children's Miracle Network, they started in 1982, and they've raised $4.7 billion, which is insanity. So I know that I'm definitely going to be contributing however I can. Maybe not streaming. Jelly, you'll probably be streaming as part of their network, right?
That's the hope. I still have to work out the details with them to see if they're allowing other streamers to be part of their group again. But I don't see why they wouldn't necessarily. So if I can, I absolutely will.
Oh, right on. Yeah, as you guys probably know by now, I don't really stream myself, but I might be participating in some other things. I can't really say what they are. Hopefully they come about. I don't know if they will yet or not, but I will definitely be contributing monetarily. Yeah, I don't know exactly what all they're going to do. We don't know what their plans are, but it is November 7th, and it is going to be they do have a Twitch channel set up, and that'll be linked down in the description below, so you guys can go check that out if you want.
I think that covers everything for Extra Life this next week, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I think that does. I really didn't have much else to talk about. This is gonna be a pretty
Do you
short one.
want to just talk about like where we think each class is going to be in like a lane structure?
Ooh, good one. Yeah, let's do that.
I feel like that's something that we can do quickly because there's only a few classes, but still fill out the rest of the time.
So where do you think the duo lane's gonna be? What lane do you think that is?
I feel like and it's hard without being able to visualize the map, right? We know that the map we've seen before is not accurate anymore. That they said it's
Right.
very different now than what it was. I would imagine that the bottom lane, whether that be the lowest or the wherever, I can't think of the boss's name now suddenly. Atropos. Wherever Atropos is, it's going to be the opposite side of that, where the equivalent to dragon, whichever side the dragon is on, assuming that's still a objective, is going to be the dual lane side. I would assume that that's going to be the bottom lane, assuming a vertical tier structure, but we'll have to wait and see for sure. And and absolutely that's going to be marksman and clerics. I don't have any doubt in my mind that those are the two classes that are going to stick to the carry support role.
Yeah, maybe a tank instead of a cleric, but some sort of support type role.
I guess I could see berserkers being a support type role if they had the right abilities to match that. I could see them absolutely making terrain like cover to use and things like that. Could be a cool matchup for them to use.
Well, I mean, we've seen people will try freaking anything.
I mean, maybe we'll see Archmage clerics in the duo lane.
Yeah. I think Archmage will probably be just like it is now, middle lane.
Yeah.
Like mages usually go middle lane. I think that's where they'll go. And the reasoning behind that is because it is a vertically tiered map structure, but they did say that there's ways to get around, like you can drop through holes or get transported up to the next lane or whatever. And mages just have that ability to clear out their lane faster and then rotate without worry of the minions taking their tower. So that's usually where you want your mage, just because of that quick clear times that they have. So I think that's where the archmages is going to be.
Absolutely, especially with the teleportation sigils that they're going to have. Those rotations to other lanes are going to be even faster. Like and I'm curious to see if there's set spots for these teleportation sigils or if they can place them anywhere or what the deal is for that. That's what I'm mostly curious about. And maybe if there's some kind of notification that somebody's teleporting, kind of that you can get there faster, but it warns them that there's been a teleporting event happened, or it could be interesting. So
to be completely honest, I forgot that was the Archmage's passives, was that teleportation rune.
See, I spend too much time looking at all these classes and theorizing about all this stuff. Meanwhile, while my girlfriend just looks at me, I can't tell you anything. I'm like, but you can, please. I just need a nod, please. The thing I'm most curious about is what the 6v6 structure is going to look like. Are we going to have a solo lane, mid lane, duo lane, and double jungle? Or are we going to have 2 duo lanes, the mid lane, and then a single jungler? And I've racked my brain over and over and over again on this, and I feel like it could go either way. It's really going to come down to balance of the classes and which way they fall. Because in my mind, Reapers and Sky Slayers could both be junglers. They have the movement ability to get around quicker, whether it be climbing or flying. So you could easily do a double jungle in that regard. But the caveat to that is then you have 3v1s going into lanes. If you and the second jungler coordinate well, you can gank a lane at the same time and turn it into a 3v1 rather than a 2v1. So is that really fair to have 2 junglers roaming around?
That was my obvious conclusion, that there would be like either a tank carry or cleric carry lane, an archmage in the middle, probably a berserker down at the bottom, and then a Sky Slayer roaming around. But that leaves, it says 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, at least 5. Yeah. So you'd have a Sky Slayer roaming around and then just a regular jungler, I guess.
Well,
I think the berserkers might be junglers too. I think you could probably have assassins, berserkers, and Sky Slayers. And a Sky Slayer, I mean, there's nothing that says the Sky Slayer can't take the ground level jungle. Like there's specific aerial jungle for Sky Slayers.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it'll be very interesting to see how they decide to do that whole lane structure in regard to having 6 people on the map in comparison to regular MOBAs, which have 5.
I mean, you could have double cleric marksman combos, like a cleric and marksman in the top lane.
Oh my god.
Cleric's marksman in the bottom lane, and then just a Sky Slayer roaming around taking all the jungle.
We're just gonna have Nikolai, Marina, and Dante all in the same lane, just running it down. I'd be terrified of that.
You can do that.
Little furry music creature, water witch, and then just Dante running at you. I'm good. Thanks.
You have a 6-man death ball. Hopefully they can take actions to prevent that, because I would hate to see just every game devolve into a 6-man death ball.
Oh, like old school Paragon, the best.
Except one more. And one of them's flying at you.
6v1. Way better. We fixed the problem.
I would just love to watch Kalari flip up in the air, just get picked off by a Sky Slayer.
We'll get the Paragon Ethereal mashup where we just have Sky Slayers against Paragon characters. I love it.
I've always wanted to see some sort of crossover between Predecessor and Ethereal, like Ameda and Undying, because like they're really friendly with each other, those 2 companies specifically. Like I know Owen and Smokey talk all the time. Just another really cool thing about Undying is how friendly they are with a lot of the other teams. It's not just Predecessor. They're also very friendly with Project Stamina, the gigantic resurrection project. So that's really cool stuff to see.
They're not trying to compete with these people in a way of that they hope they fail so they can succeed. They kind of hope everyone can succeed together.
Right.
Because there are very few gamers play one game. Right? So if I can play Ethereal and Predecessor at the same time and be happy with both, and they're both succeeding, then that's a win-win for me as a consumer. I don't need to be like, oh, it's Ethereal or bust. I don't care about Predecessor anymore. If I can't play Ethereal 24 hours a day, 365 days a year, then what am I doing?
Yeah. It would be really cool to see a crossover, like to see, I don't know, like Murdoch and Dante swap places for a week or something like that.
That would be so interesting. Like, it would just be
right?
Such a weird thing to happen.
If they could come out with some special voice lines for both of them where they're all confused about where they are too, that'd be neat.
So one thing I do want to talk about with you, and I know you and I have talked about it in the past, and we've talked about it in videos in the past as well, is the marksman class ability. In that it's so lackluster in comparison to at least the sound of the others. Granted, we haven't seen any of these in action, and I know that UG in the past has said if the community kind of says like this is lame, that they'll consider updating it to something different. Do you have any thoughts on that, or what do you think they could do to make this current one better?
Man, I wish I could remember all the suggestions. A lot of people made suggestions in a video that I did that were like really cool for the marksman class. And we'll have to like dig back in and find those sometime because there's a lot of people that had really good ideas. But yeah, the one they have right now, um, I can't remember exactly what it has to do with marking people and just extra damage or something, right?
Marksman can select one enemy myth to target for increased damage.
Right, yeah. Which is like compared to
Yeah.
everything else. Everything was like blow you away cool. And there's like,
You can
okay.
climb walls. You can fly. You can do extra damage to one person. Congrats.
You can knock trees down. Well, you can. Yeah.
So I don't know. I've tried to put a lot of thought into this of what they could do differently for that ability to make it feel better in some way. And the only thing that I ever came up with is some kind of that marksman will always have a very long ranged ability that has some kind of trigger to it. That if somebody does something to a certain extent, that they can do a very long range shot, single shot, and hopefully deal damage or something like that. But I mean, that's something for people to leave in the comments for this one, I guess, is what they think they could do to update the marksman ability.
I know one cool idea somebody had was headshots. However, we don't know about all the character designs. Maybe somebody doesn't have a head. Then what do you do with the marksman passive if there's no head? Like you
That's just a counter to marksman, you know? Just no head. Well, automatically they have a marksman. Click. Like that's it. I did it.
Yeah, I don't know. There's got to be something better they can do though, because that one, yeah, it's not impressed with that one.
The ones I'm most curious about are cleric and knight. Cleric has multiple Ethereum paths that they can pick.
Yeah,
which is interesting just in and of itself. I'm curious what those look like. I imagine, and this is not me trying to compare the two to each other at all, but I imagine the Ethereum path system will function something like the aspect system in Vault. That they kind of pick these unique bonuses for their character or the abilities that they have as a character, and then take that into the rest of the game. But it's just for clerics. And then the knights having to go on like a mini quest to get a mystery item. I am so curious how that works. Because if it's like a short little nothing quest, the item probably can't be too strong. But if it's so involved that you have to actively basically not play the game to go do your side quest, then you're putting your team at a detriment. Like it's a weird balance that they'll have to find. And it makes me think that the knights are supposed to be junglers as well. Because in my mind, having to go for a quest and being in a lane don't fit together. Because if I have to abandon my lane for long periods to go do this epic quest, I have to go hunt down the red buff in order to get extra fire damage or something. It'd be interesting.
Like Heroes of the Storm has questing talents that you pick, like a quest at the beginning of the game, or sometimes they're not activated till like mid game or something like that. But it's usually something like hit a certain ability so many times on a hero, or kill this many minions, or it's something like that you could complete it in lane. You don't have to like journey out and do anything.
It's not a literal quest where I'm like going across the map. You're like, oh, hey, Dante, hey, Marina, I'm just here to kill my quest. You know, no big deal.
Yeah, you're not taking the ring to mortar. You're just doing your normal shit. But if you do it well enough, then you unlock some special stuff. At least that's the way they do it in Heroes of the Storm. Of course, that's not the way they have to do it in Ethereal. It's just that's the way I see a questing talent, just because that's kind of the background that I come from.
I could see that. That would make sense. Kill so many minions and get this upgrade and kill whatever it is. I imagine they'll have multiples that you can pick from toward that end.
Yeah. So you could probably specifically choose what best counters the enemy team's composition or enhances your team's composition. I think that's the way the clerics are going to be as well. You're going to pick something that either enhances your team or is just a counter pick to what the enemy team's comp is. And it's going to take us a while to figure out what the different comps are and what they're good at and how to counter those. But that's going to be the fun of playing this brand new game.
Absolutely. And I think the pre-alpha is going to be it's going to be bug testing for sure. but it's also going to be those. I think today they said they're estimating 2,000 people for pre-alpha, depending on server ability. But having those 2,000 people be the determining factor of like what the meta is or what the meta goes towards will be really interesting, and I'm excited for that.
And the more people you add into the game, the crazier the meta is going to get.
Mm-hmm.
And they're going to have their hands full with trying to adjust to it.
And they've said in the past that they don't want to constrain any myth to any lane. That if for some reason Archmage Berserker works in the duo lane, as long as it's not oppressive, they're not going to force them back to their respective lanes. If it feels balanced in that lane, then they're not going to stress out about it. Which is really cool from a
real
player
challenge,
standpoint.
right?
But yeah, making that balanced at all is just going to be an overwhelming task.
Oh no, it's yet to be seen. We never did get to all the lanes though. We started this conversation talking about what classes will be in which lane. Something you brought up, like you were saying the duo lane will probably be opposite of Atropos. Do you think that they'll have some sort of buff like Predecessor has Fangtooth, and usually your duo lane goes to the Fangtooth side of the map? Do you think there'll be a buff like that?
I would imagine there has to be. I don't know of any MOBAs that don't have some kind of secondary objective, global objective. I think Dota 2 maybe doesn't have one, but that's the only one I can think of. Smite has the gold buff and then the fury buff, and then there's, or whatever they're called. I don't play enough Smite to know the names of these things, but League has the dragon and the baron buff. Like you said, Predecessor has Orb Prime and Fangtooth, Fault the same thing. I would imagine they have to do something like that, and it would, because it creates team fighting opportunities.
Right.
Instead of just making the game kind of stale in that, oh, I'm a jungler, I just go gank lanes, I don't have any priorities outside of that.
And it gives you a reason to go to a certain lane and to attempt to dominate that lane. Otherwise, you're just farming farming simulator for 30 minutes.
Competitive farming simulator. Come on.
Yeah. Ooh, I forgot about that. If people are good.
So, like we said, Archmages in the mid lane. I would assume Berserkers are going to be off lane, most likely.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, yeah.
Clerics will be the supports, so they'll be in duo lane. The Knights, I could see being junglers, or I could see them being off laners. Either way, I think it really comes down to how their Relic Hunt works, more than anything. I think if their Relic Hunt can be done in lane, they'll be more played in lane as the top laner equivalent. Marksman will be in the duo lane. Reapers, I feel like could go almost anywhere except for the duo lane.
Yeah.
I feel like
it depends on their abilities.
Mid lane assassins, they could be junglers, they could be off laners. I feel like they're the ones that are probably the most versatile.
Right.
And then Sky Slayers, junglers through and through.
The problem I have is I'll always end up comparing the classes for Ethereal to Paragon heroes, which is not correct. It's not right to do so, because there's no telling what they're going to do. But I always think like, well, I mean, Kalari's a great offlaner, and you would never play Kalari mid, but Kalari's, a good jungler. I think of like an assassin as, you'd never take an assassin mid, but maybe you can. Maybe in Ethereal, assassins have great wave clear and
can do something like that. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's until we know what the abilities are for at least the first 7 that are going to be in the alpha. It's going to be hard to tell one way or another where they're going to fall balance-wise and lane-wise in the whole structure of everything.
I think Berserkers will definitely have the jungler option as well, though, since they can break down terrain and such.
That's probably true. It'll be interesting to see if they can block. So if the jungle is small and has like small pathways through it, it'd be interesting to see if Berserker can just stop a path and force them to go around, unless they're a Sky Slayer or a Reaper.
Yeah. I don't know. I think it would be also interesting if they could break a tree down in a way that it would get up to the sky jungle and then just
Oh, that'd be so cool.
run up that tree
That
and
would be like such
make
a
a big fire
satisfying
jungle.
thing to do as a
I know,
berserker.
right?
Just knock down a tree, run up, carefully run up it, balance all the way up there.
Yeah.
Be great.
Imagine the first time you did it too. You're like, I wonder if I hit this tree right here, if it'll go up there. And you do it and it does work. You'd just be like, oh my God,
You'd
this
be
game
telling
is
everybody else,
amazing.
like, come look at me, like I'm up here. Like
Everybody come run up this
I'd be
tree with me.
Grognark just jumping up and down up on the sky camp. Absolutely.
The Sky Slayer just pecking at you. Like, who cares? I got up here with a tree. I didn't need wings. That's still yet to be determined too. I still don't know. Like destructible parts of the environment, do they stay down or
How long are
do
they
they like
there? Are they then, do they have a
respawn?
health that if it's destructible, then let's say the carry runs through and shoots at it enough times that it breaks, that you can then go through there? How is that? All of that's going to be super
Yeah.
interesting to see.
Yeah, maybe like anybody can actually destroy something. Just berserkers are way, way better at it or something like that. I
Yeah.
don't know. God, I can't wait till this game comes out. There's so many questions.
I feel like the when the website update goes out, we're just gonna look at it and have so many answers, but then a whole slew of new questions. Like it's just gonna be a undertaking to look at it all. We'll have to like go week by week on single hero or single myths, and be like, okay, Grognark sounds absolutely insane because he can just throw rocks at everybody everywhere he wants.
Yeah. Hopefully this weekend during the extra live stream, we'll be able to find some new information out at least. At least see something new. We haven't seen anything new in such a long time from them, which is
I think the last
have
time we
good
saw
reason.
new information was when they updated the website to its current form.
Yeah, I think so.
Oh my god.
It's been a while. It's been a while. And I know a lot of people, like I see people in the comments that have lost faith in this game.
Mhm.
And I don't blame them. I mean,
Not at all.
there's nothing to really give them faith for a while. It's really the hardcore fans of the game that still have faith in the game. I mean, Jelly and I probably have more reason than most people to believe in the game, especially Jelly. I mean, his girlfriend works for Undying Games, so
Yeah, absolutely. And that when she got the position to work for them, it definitely kind of reignited that hope for the game in me. Like it's not that I lost hope by any stretch, but it definitely was like dormant. I was just like, yeah, eventually Ethereal will come, whatever. And then when she got it, it's like, okay, like this is a thing. Like we're back to this. Like
right on, man. Right on.
we're just gonna
see you
keep
got your,
calling Ethereal the new Cyberpunk. We're just gonna delay.
Oh man, don't say that. I mean that it has been delayed so many times now, for good reasons, of course, but it still hurts. It still hurts to see it when I've been
Absolutely.
waiting for this for so long.
But if it's good when it comes out, I won't care.
It'll all be worth it. Yeah,
That's
as
the
long
hope.
as they don't make the mistake of, like, I think Overprime really made a mistake by releasing their game to just for anyone to try,
Mhm.
like in the state that it was in at first. Like Overprime has really come a long way. They've improved that game significantly, but nobody wants to give it a try because they still remember the first time they tried to play Overprime. You know
Absolutely.
what I mean?
When you
I think
burn
it's
the
smart of
community,
Ethereal not to do that. Yeah.
when you burn the community on your first impression, it's really hard to get anyone to come back after that.
No, look at
And especially
Predecessor.
with-
Predecessor burned everybody on their first impression, and it took a year later of them being silent. Like they pretty much made everybody forget about them so that they could bust back on with something new and exciting, and it worked out for them.
Absolutely. I think I've never seen the Predecessor community so like hyped up for that.
Oh, I mean, they came back with a really great product, and hopefully that's what we're getting from Ethereal is they're putting in all this hard work right now, so that we get an excellent product in the end.
Absolutely.
Oh well, Jelly, do you have anything else you wanted to discuss there, buddy?
I think that's it for this week. Next week
All
we'll have
right.
Psionics with us.
Yes, indeed. Still don't know exactly what we're going to talk about with Psionics. He's part of the GDA team. We were going to try and ask him some GDA questions, but we got to find out mainly from this weekend what we're actually allowed to talk about. So
Absolutely. And we will ask him everything that we possibly can. It's just whether or not we can
grill
get
him
answers
like we
for
grilled
that.
mud.
Exactly. We just got to trip him up. That's the plan now. We'll start working on it, that we just berate him with questions. And
Yeah.
then just so when's Ethereal coming out?
All right, plug time, Jelly.
The same usual things. Twitch.tv/Jellyknees. Hanging out.
Yeah. If you like the video, like and subscribe.
That's
Really need to
Mangoose pushing
start uploading
subscriptions?
these to the actual podcast. Even though a lot of it is very visual, but yeah, I'll get that done pretty soon. And then you can just listen while you're folding laundry or whatever the hell. Or just listen to me as you go to sleep, me and Jelly as you go to sleep. That's what I do with most of the podcasts that I really like.
Don't listen to me while you go to sleep. I don't want you thinking of me as you go to sleep. It's okay.
That's what I do. I'll think about you when I go to sleep, Jelly.
You heard it here first, I guess. Mangoose 3 weeks in a row leaving us with something creepy as the end result here.
I feel like Rudolph Giuliani. I can't help but creep people the fuck out. Oh, that was so gross. Anyway, that's gonna be it for Jelly. I really did it on some awkward ass shit, just like I always do.
So what do we have now? We have unsolved mysteries, might be ghosts or aliens. What was last week? Oh, the heat death of the universe. And then now we have that Mangoose thinks about me when he goes to sleep. So we're fine. I may not be back next week, but it's okay.
But okay, before I embarrass myself further, this is the Mangoose and Jellyknee signing off. You guys have a good one. Mangoose.